I totally screwed up on Charbone Hydrogen investment thesis. And I got to be upfront. I got to apologize. I'm sorry. I had no idea. So, what am I talking about? When I saw this page of the investment presentation for Charbone, I about fell off my chair. Because when I presented Charbone as an investment opportunity through this investment report, which, by the way, is in the description below, I thought that the price to value creation, remember what Warren Buffett says? Price is what you pay, value is what you get. I thought that the price to value creation was about 100 times. I was wrong. It's about 1,000 times. I'm not kidding you. I about fell off my chair when I saw these numbers. And you know what? The management knew about it. And they thought it was a good idea not to share it. Like, this changes everything. And they just updated investment presentation. And if you understand this chart, it changes everything. Because when you have a situation where you have price to value creation of 1,000 times, that means that $1,000 can go into $1 million. $10,000 can go into 10 million. That is complete insanity. So let's go over what I thought and let's go over what it really is. So here's what I talked about in my investment report on Charbone. And if you're new to this, Charbone is a pure play green hydrogen company. They are about to produce green hydrogen. And there is no other publicly traded green hydrogen plays in the stock market. They don't exist, okay? So they provided, or I provided you with this table that Charbone is putting one of its locations into green hydrogen production. And I said in this report that there's 2 phases, and that at the end of phase 2, which will be by 2025, the EBITDA for that location will be about $4 million, okay? And then I said in this report that, here's what I said. By 2025, the Sorrel Tracy location, after 11 million capex, is projected to generate 4 million of EBITDA, right? And thus be worth approximately 40 million. I mean, if you generate 4 million of EBITDA, you apply 10 multiple on it, you can conservatively say that this project would be worth 40 million, right? Because Charbone would only own 50% of it, because they would finance it through project financing, the value created for Charbone would be 20 million, right? Today, Charbone's market cap is 5 million. I'm sure you can see the upside. However, this is just one location. Once the company can successfully put Sorrel Tracy into green production, there will be plenty of project financiers for the other locations. And the same value creation can be replicated over and over. With 10 locations, we are talking about 200 million worth of value for Charbone shareholders. With 20 locations, that's 400 million. Considering that Charbone's market cap at the time of this report was 4 million, the investment opportunity is looking very attractive. So you can see that it's like a 100x investment opportunity. That's like 10%. That's like 10% of the opportunity. And now I'm going to show you, because they just shared it on an investment presentation. I thought there were going to be 2 phases. Look at this. They just put this, and this presentation is in the link below. So you can see it yourself. I'm not making up these numbers. Look at this. Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, Phase 4, Phase 5. I had no idea that they were going for Phase 5. I thought that the maximum was Phase 2. I had no idea that it was going to be Phase 5. And what's the difference? Well, if you look at the capacity in megawatts, Phase 1 is 2.5, Phase 5 is 25 megawatts. What does this translate to? Almost 30 million of EBITDA. Not 3 million that I thought, or 4 million that I thought. Almost 30 million of EBITDA for one location. Remember, their goal is to bring 16 locations into green hydrogen production. We are talking about one location. Now, let's read this here. A standard Charbone Hydrogen Corporation fully owned subsidiary of 25 megawatts capacity, fully developed and operated. That's 30 million of EBITDA. Or I'm rounding it up. It's like 28.3. I ask you again, what is anything worth that is spitting out 30 million of EBITDA per year? Anything. Let's put 10 multiple on it. It's probably more, but let's put 10 multiple on it. That's 300 million. 300 million for one location. Do you know what the market cap of Charbone Hydrogen Corporation today is? 5 million. That's one location. If we take this and multiply it, 300 million times 16 locations, that's $5 billion. $5 billion of value creation between 16 projects. How do we compare this to market cap? It's about 1,000 times higher. I had no idea. I had no idea that this thing had such upside. But now, this $5 billion, is this all going to go to Charbone Hydrogen Corporation? No. The $5 billion is a vision, is a value creation opportunities through 16 projects. And those projects have to be put into production, right? And to put them into production, the company is going to need some kind of project financing. And I talked about it in video number 1. Is that somebody is putting up the money to put this into production, and then they earn a certain percentage of individual projects. Let's say 50-50. They put this project into production, they earn a 50%. Charbone owns the other 50%. And Charbone can own 50% of 16 projects. So instead of Charbone getting the entire $5 billion worth of value, they would only get, let's say, $2.5 billion worth of value. Again, when you compare this to today's market cap, that's 500 times the current market cap, right? But people are like, well, but they don't have the money to put this thing into production yet. Not yet. So first thing is that I would want to ask, you need to ask yourself is, picture this. You own land in New York, in Manhattan, New York. You own a parcel of land. And you have the permission from the city to build a skyscraper that when it's finished, it will be worth $5 billion. And it's going to cost you, I don't know, $1 billion to build it, right? But when finished, fully leased up, it's going to be $5 billion. Do you think that the land underneath that project would only be worth $5 million? Not a chance. That land would probably be worth 100, maybe $200 million. And nobody would be asking questions. Well, but the landowner of that parcel of property doesn't have the money to build a skyscraper. It doesn't matter if the landowner has the money or not. It doesn't matter, because a developer can come in, calculate how much is it going to cost me to build the $5 billion skyscraper, and how much can I afford to pay for that land. So if you bought that land for $5 million, you could probably 20x your money just in the value of the land, based on the fact that you can build this skyscraper, this high skyscraper, that at the end of the day it's worth $5 billion. That's how I see Charbone Hydrogen Corporation. It's like a parcel of land that allows you to create $5 billion worth of value between 16 projects. And is this opportunity, this parcel of land, should it be valued at $5 million? No, I don't think so. But I'm not surprised that it is, because you didn't know, I didn't know, the management thought it wasn't important until now to communicate this, that there's 5 phases. I had no idea, you had no idea, nobody had no idea. So I'm not surprised that people are not getting super excited about this, because if they knew, if they calculated this, I don't think we'd be sitting at this, right? So, and now let's talk about the financing, because they recently put out a press release saying that they are getting an electrolyzer. Electrolyzer is needed to produce green hydrogen, because what you need to produce green hydrogen, you need clean energy, clean electricity that comes from renewable resources, hydro, solar, blah, blah, blah. You need clean energy to go through the electrolyzer, and the electrolyzer splits water into hydrogen and oxygen. That's how you produce green hydrogen. And they just had a press release that they are getting a bigger electrolyzer that puts them closer to this amount, which is that phase 1. It puts them closer to this amount. Once that financing comes through and they can put this first project into green hydrogen production, they will show it to the world. We are no longer promising to produce green hydrogen. We are producing green hydrogen, and they will be able to show the financial metrics of phase 1 or close to phase 1. And when they demonstrate that, it will be easier to finance phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5. It will be easier to get to this value creation with that first financing. And also recently, they put out a valuation report. When it used discounted cash flow analysis, the net present value of this company was close to $2 billion in Canadian dollars. So future value of $5 billion accounted for how much it costs to create that $5 billion worth of value, discount to present. Yeah, it probably comes out to about net present value of close to $2 billion. So I'm in the ballpark. But now with this presentation, we can see this. And now, why am I so confident that these, or why is the management confident that they will be able to finance the development towards that $5 billion value creation? Is because, for example, think about a situation where I'm going to take this here. So to generate, in my report that I wrote, to generate about $4 million of EBITDA, the CapEx was going to be about $11 million. So now we are 10 times that much. So I'm just going to use like $100 million to get to phase 5, right? They don't list the capex here. I'm just kind of estimating. Let's say $100 million to get to phase 5. You're the project financier. You're the project financier. You're going to put $100 million and you're going to earn 50% interest in this project. So you're going to get half of the EBITDA. So you're going to get 15 million. So 15 million divided by 100 million, you're going to get a return of 15%, right? But this doesn't stop here, because look at this. The clean hydrogen ITC will provide a tax credit of up to 40% of the total equipment cost of Canadian project to the company. So in other words, whoever puts up the money will get 40% of it back through a tax credit. So instead of it costing them $100 million, it's going to cost them $60 million. So now we're taking 15 million of EBITDA, which is 50% of this, divided by 60. Now they're making 25% of their money by financing a green project like this that they can brag about and tell the world that they're doing something about the environment, right? But also, so if they do this one thing and put this one project into production, and Charbone generates 50% of it, because Charbone will own 50% of it. So $300 million is the value of this one project, times 50%, that's $150 million. Divided by today's market cap of 5, that's 30 times your money on one location. One location. 30 times your money on one location. Now, but what if you're like, you know what? They negotiate and they're like, but if we finance this location, we don't want Charbone to have 50% ownership. We want to be greedy, and we're going to finance it, and we will take 90%. 90%, and you, Charbone, will retain only 10%. That's not going to happen. But let's say a scenario like this would happen. Okay, so 300 million times 10%, that's 30 million. What's the market cap today? 5. That's 6 times your money on a scenario that's never going to happen. 6 times your money. How many projects do they have? Oh, 16. That's 96 times your money. Almost 100 times your money on a scenario it's not going to happen. But even in this horrible negotiation where Charbone only gets 10%, that's 100 times your money. That's the importance of understanding this chart. And that's what they just put up. I had no idea. You had no idea. So I apologize for having no idea that this opportunity is much bigger than I originally thought. But the management didn't tell me. Until this, I had no idea. So thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.